Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
over the weekend, ICE arrested an illegal alien named Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez. He was charged with concealing a body of a 37-year-old mother of two, Megan Boss. If that had been Stacy, if that had been your wife Stacy's body that had been decapitated,
All right. That's not an appropriate question. Yeah.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories twice a day. Thinking about moving to 3 times, y'all. Your boy needs to get his views up. So if you can share this, I'm telling you to share it out early. You know I'm gonna tell you later too. But go ahead and share this video out, people. Come on, help your boy out. Now, y'all, today we're gonna talk about your boy. That is the illustrious sub 10% approval rating Mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. Today, y'all, we have a story about him being confronted in the most gruesome, straight up in your face way possible. And you already saw that from the coming up. This reporter, William Kelly, he pulls no punches. He's talking about the people who are in the country without permission. You know, Brandon Johnson likes to protect them, hide them, shelter them, give all of Chicago people's money to them. You know how it is. And William Kelly says, okay, well, what about this? What would you do if this happens? And you're definitely going to want to see your boy's response to this question. But first, y'all, what I'm going to do is show you what William Kelly was talking about. William Kelly is the reporter. He is the journalist who every time he gets an opportunity goes up in Brandon Johnson's face and says, well, what about this? Real Chicagoans want to know that. You see, the other people who go to these press conferences, sometimes they give, you know, the questions a little bit difficult sometimes, but William Kelly, he's not pulling any punches. So the first thing we're going to do is I want to show you the tragic case that William Kelly is going to reference. Then we're going to get into this very intense back and forth. Let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com, or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement, you're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement.
It's been more than 3 months since Megan Boss was found dead here on a property in Waukegan, but today a sense of closure and peace for her family as the man accused of hiding Megan's body is now in ICE custody, potentially facing deportation. Jennifer Boss last saw her 37-year-old daughter in February, and 2 months later, Megan was found in a container at a home on this block of Yeoman Street in Waukegan.
It was so unexpected to have been told that she was found that way.
The autopsy revealed that Megan died from a fentanyl overdose, but this 52-year-old man was allegedly there when she died, and prosecutors say he hid her body for 2 months at his home. Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez was charged with concealment of a death, abuse of a corpse, and obstructing justice.
He had put her inside, covered her with a blanket. I believe I was told there was a carpet over the top of that.
A statement from the Department of Homeland Security reported Megan was also decapitated, but her mother disputes that.
No, she was not decapitated. No, definitely not.
Frustration grew even more for the Boss family when Mendoza Gonzalez was granted pretrial release in April because his charges did not meet the necessary criteria to remain in jail under the Safety Act.
It has driven me crazy every single day to think that he's been out there.
So now that you've seen a quick news report about the tragedy, we're going to get into the question that reporter, journalist William Kelly asked to Brandon Johnson. You're going to notice that Brandon Johnson's people, they try to shut Mr. Kelly down. They don't want the illustrious sub 10% approval rating Brandon Johnson, mayor of Chicago. They don't want him to have to answer these questions. So they do their best to try to give Mr. Kelly a little bit of space, but not too much. Now, y'all will say this. I just want to say that from my perspective, people who are in the country without permission, all of them are illegally in the country. Many of them broke laws to get into the country, and others by overstaying their visa or violating certain guidelines are breaking the laws. But what that guy that you just saw in that news report, what you saw him do, that does not represent the majority or even a substantial minority of people. Okay, I just want to say that. But we do have to ask, when the few of the people who are in the country without permission, when the very few of them, could be hundreds, could be thousands, out of millions, okay? But when the few of them commit these heinous acts, the leaders, particularly when they have said they're not going to work with ICE to get these people out of the country, they must account for that. Because these people, once they have been picked up for crimes, they need to be the first to go. These criminals. All right. Now, they're not all criminals. They're not mostly all like violent criminals. OK, so I'm not one of these people. You're not going to get that from me. Are they here illegally? Yes. But are they violent criminals like this guy? No, not most of them. Some of them are. And those people need to be gone. So anyway, let's get into this confrontation that William Kelly had with your boy, the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson.
Mayor Johnson, over the weekend, ICE arrested an illegal alien named Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, who had been released by a Safety Act judge he was charged with concealing a body of a 37-year-old mother of two, Megan Boss, a body that had been decapitated, abused, kept in a...
We got to get to the question.
I have a constitutional right to ask a question.
You do, but I asked the question.
I'm a credentialed member of the press. I do have a constitutional right to ask my question.
Absolutely, William. We want to get to your question. And
I'm trying to, if you didn't interrupt me, I would be done with my question.
This is not the first time. I respectfully ask you to ask the question. Thank you.
I'd like to finish my question now. May I?
Thank you.
Megan Boss, decapitated, her body abused in a dumpster, in a bleach-filled dumpster on this man's property, right?
Okay.
You have stated over and over and over again that you don't want ICE in Chicago. If that had been Stacy, if that had been your wife Stacy's body that had been decapitated,
That's not an appropriate question. Yeah.
Please move on.
Really,
Please move on.
the people of Chicago are asking me to ask you this very specific question. Had that been your wife Stacy, would you want ICE to pick up this illegal alien?
I'm not going to entertain your question.
Yeah.
You are beyond
Can we go to
my
Chris?
answers.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
In fact, I actually believe that what you're saying is quite threatening. It is
Yeah.
quite threatening. Can we move on to the next person here?
Excuse me, but no,
And if you continue to behave in such a way, we'll just make sure that we take the appropriate steps. You are threatening and provocative.
this is a question that the real people...
No, this isn't a. Go ahead, sir.
Mayor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
From the adage of success has many fathers and failure is an orphan, I'm
Start
wondering-
over one more time, please.
Sure. Should we wait or should we go?
And I am seriously asking you to show respect for this office and give me the mic.
Hey,
We are done, so
we gotta move on. Thanks.
Mayor, good afternoon.
Now, y'all, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm always honest with you, but I'm going to be doubly honest with you. Brandon Johnson handled that correctly. Now, you might disagree with his policies, which I do, but he handled that correctly because he protected his wife's name and her honor and her memory, right? So as a husband myself, he kept it classy, but he protected his wife's name, her honor, and her memory. But he didn't answer the question. He's still wrong in his policies, right? He's totally wrong in his policies. His policies are getting people hurt. His policies are leading to people losing their lives. But in this case, I have to say, don't bring my wife into this. I agree with Brandon Johnson on his response, but not with his policies. Do y'all remember? I want to flash back to a previous case that this reminded me of, a debate where the answer was totally wrong. Let's do a juxtaposition so you can see why I say Johnson's answer was within the realm of acceptable, and you can see a juxtaposition of a politician's answer that was just totally wrong, terrible.
Candidates, the first question goes to Governor Dukakis. You have 2 minutes to respond. Governor, if Kitty Dukakis were raped and murdered, would you favor an irrevocable death penalty for the killer?
No, I don't, Bernard, and I think you know that I've opposed the death penalty during all of my life. I don't see any evidence that it's a deterrent, and I think there are better and more effective ways to deal with violent crime. We've done so in my own state, and it's one of the reasons why we have had the biggest drop in crime of any industrial state in America, why we have the lowest murder rate of any industrial state in America.
So, y'all, your boy, Brandon Johnson, sub 10%. The illustrious Brandon Johnson, sub 10% approval rating, mayor of Chicago. Policies, terrible. Approval rating, terrible. Results, terrible. Answer to this question, I'm gonna give him the stamp of approval. Y'all might disagree. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and run the question for today. Do you agree? Don't tell me about his policies. I mean, you can tell me about his policies. You can tell me whatever you want in the comments. But my question to you is, do you agree with the way he answered this question? Okay. Now, I know maybe you want him to answer for his policies, but William Kelly, and I'm not pushing back on William Kelly, because Kelly is trying to cut through the BS and get to he's trying to cut through the BS and get to the real. People are dying. People are suffering from these idiotic policies. I get that. So I'm not pushing back on Kelly at all. But on the other hand, Brandon Johnson has to defend his wife. So I am going to give him a pass on this answer. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me or disagree with me? Let me know down in the comments. Before you do, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And if you are not a subscriber, please do subscribe. For my people who have a retirement, do you still want money to be in there once the Democrats get back in office? You know that these things go round and round, up and down, y'all. You know that once they get in there, they're going to take all your munagi and give it over to the people who are here without permission. Look, if you want to have your money, go to Paralegal, PARALEGOLD.com. Talk to my people at Augusta Precious Metals about protecting your precious nest egg, people. Also, you can call them at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what y'all think. Love y'all. We'll see you back in the next one.